Welcome back to our Revelation series here on Barefoot Bible. And our video today is the prayer of all saints, and we're covering verses 2 through 7 of chapter 8. You may have questions about Revelation, and your question may be the very same as other subscribers. So look below the video, down in the comment section, and post your question or comment there. Let's begin with verse 2 today. I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. Now, Gabriel may be one of these seven angels which stood before God, because if you look back to where Gabriel introduces himself to Mary, he said to her, I am Gabriel that stand in the presence of God. That's quite similar. Ephesians 6 indicates there are ranks of demons, principalities, powers, rulers of darkness, Ephesians 6:12. And we are aware that there also seems to be ranks of heavenly angels. The seven angels in this verse may be archangels, and if that's correct, another possibility would be the archangel Michael. We read about him in Daniel chapter 12. Let's continue verse 3. Another angel came and stood at this altar, we're up in heaven, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints on the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. Mysterious vision that the Lord is showing John here. But it does remind us once a day, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest carried a censer, and it was a golden it was a tool that they used to carry coals off of the fire. And he scooped the incense off the altar, and they took it through the veil into the Holy of Holies once a year. In this vision, the angel had a golden altar. He used the censer to offer incense, and he mixed the incense with the prayer of the saints, and that fragrant smoke will fill God's heavenly temple. What's interesting about using prayer this way, we should never underestimate the value God places on our prayer. Spoken from our hearts, interceded by the Holy Spirit, our prayers may one day be part of this prophetic event. The angel took up the censer again, verse 5, and the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. So following the fire being cast into the earth, John heard and saw something quite ominous. Voices, thunderings, lightnings, and an incredible earthquake. The sights and sounds reveal a pattern, because this happens more than once in Revelation. John described this in the vision of God's heavenly throne back in chapter 4, and the sights and sounds came from the area of God's throne. It occurs again in chapter 11, verse 15, and the sights and sounds will come from the temple of God. And the last occurrence will be when the seventh vial of wrath is poured out, chapter 16. And again, the sounds will come from the temple of God. Each of these events is connected with the outpouring of God's wrath, sights and sounds of judgment. Wow. Verse 6, and the seven angels which had seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Some do not interpret these plagues as literal events. They interpret them figuratively, but I disagree. Very similar judgments occurred during the Exodus from Egypt, and they indicate that a symbolic interpretation just not required for Revelation here. The plagues in Moses' day were quite real, and they give us a reliable model. In Egypt, he writes there was hail and fire mingled with hail, very grievous, which was such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout the land of Egypt and all that was in the field, man and beast, and the hail smote every herb of the field and brake every tree of the field. Wow. The destruction of 1/3 of the trees and this is in the world, and all the green grass will devastate housing construction. It'll cause soil erosion, that fire and smoke and the loss of the trees will degrade air quality. Wow, God is warning us about coming judgment. Barefoot Bible. Thanks to those who have subscribed. If you haven't, click like and subscribe today. Encourage your friends. Click the links down below the video to order my book on Revelation or check out my Facebook page. You are invited. And then our next video, The Sky is Falling, will continue our study of Revelation chapter 8. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope you'll watch us again. It'll be broadcast next Thursday.